I'm pretty stoked with the week of climbing that I just had. If it's your first time here, thanks for joining, and if you guys have been here before, thanks for sticking around. Here at this channel, my goal is to create a positive experience of how we think about climbing. We're all just trying to get a little bit better, one step at a time. What stood out during these sessions? I knew I wasn't going to be flashing black circuit problems or blue circuit problems. I knew that wasn't going to be in the cards right out the gate. So what that means in terms of volume and intensity is that I needed more volume. I needed that to be at a high point. My intensity needed to be a little bit lower. So what that led me to do is focus on like purple and orange circuit problems, and like that's where I was really gonna live in. Go up this way. As the week progressed, that's where the volume of work, the amount of problems that I was doing, sends and attempts that I was doing started to decrease, but the intensity of the problems started to increase. I'm really just trying to focus on what is the volume and what is the intensity. If my intensity is high, then my volume needs to be low. If my volume is high, my intensity needs to be low. If I have a really high intensity session and try to throw myself at the wall multiple times, inevitably it's gonna lead to injury, burnout, overall junk mileage, to where I'm not even learning from the problems and I'm just falling and falling and falling. But to be able to acknowledge this, I have to take my ego, throw it away, and just understand that, you know what, today I'm just gonna be doing purple and orange problems, and that's okay. There's fun in that itself. And I feel like this week really encapsulated the fun of climbing. My stoke has never been higher, and it was just looking at the problems in a different perspective than usual.
Real quick, I want to tell you guys about underground climbing. They have this really rad bucket. It's water resistant, magnetic opening, and it has a magnetic chalk brush that comes off just like that. So if you guys are in the market for a good chalk bucket, might as well go with the best, and it helps support creators like me. If you can't purchase a chalk bucket, that's okay. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and let's just continue to build a community, spread the love of climbing. All right, back to the video.
I've been reading this book called Smooth. It's a really good training guide. I highly encourage you to read it. Even if you've been climbing forever, some of these things are really good reminders. In chapter 5 and 6, it talks about some footwork and body positioning. I really enjoyed these chapters because it felt like something that I've been missing and I've been trying to search for quite a bit. As you saw in some of those orange problems, they had some tricky movements and some tricky positioning, but I really dove into that. I knew this is something that I need to work on, and if I want to get better, then I have to lean into it. I have to trust my feet. What I found myself doing is thinking about how can I use not just my pivot point edge, but maybe the outside edge. And that allowed me to get my body closer to the wall, and my overall body positioning was just a little bit better. How am I moving from one foot position to the next foot position? And that brings me to my hips. It's all in the hips. The hips lead the movement. Where your hips go, your body goes along with it. last session being yesterday, I was moving my hips so much on this blue problem that I didn't end up getting, but I thought there was just so much little micro movements that I learned just from failing the problem. I'm happy that I have to work through it. It went from a movement that felt so hard to get into, and by the end of it, it was like, oh, I can get into this position pretty flawlessly now, or pretty easily. Granted, I'm not setting myself up for success for the next movement, but my win was being able to open up my hips, trust the little foot edges, and trust my footwork. I'm really happy with how that turned out for that session. I believe to be the biggest takeaway from these sessions is my overall mental attitude and love towards fear. I need to go up this way. Dude, why do these types of problems always trip me up? I love talking about fear because it's something that triggers your fight or flight response. At first, I thought it was just a natural thing that I can't control whether I fight or whether I fly away, I run away. But within climbing, I found that no, with practice, with repetition, with breath work, I can actually control my fear. I can control my high anxiety. I can control how my body reacts. And that's really empowering. That's something that's something bigger than climbing. That's something that you can take into your life. As I started to ramp into tougher body positions and weird footwork and little small chips that I generally would just be afraid of, I ramped up into it. I slowly began to acclimate and adapt to those scenarios. And I just listened to my body. I knew that there's some moves that I was just plain afraid of, but I acknowledged it and I let that fear drive me to try harder. I acknowledged that I was afraid. Instead of just saying, no, I'm gonna give up now and let it just kind of simmer and stick with me, I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try my best. If I fail, that's okay. If I succeed, that's awesome. Right? These are the moments that can define our character. These are the moments that it's up to you to try your best and to try your hardest. And ultimately, we do have a choice. This is in an environment, a safer environment for us to try this. Granted, climbing is an inherent risk, so take that as you will. We can push into our anxieties, we can push into our fear and practice how we manage those feelings and emotions. So instead of me giving up right away and turning away from that weird foot chip that's just daunting and looking right back at me, instead I look at it and say, I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens next. There's times where, maybe I do fall off the first attempt, but instead of just saying, yep, all right, I tried it, I'm done, whatever. No. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again and really dig deep. But digging into the uncomfortable, being comfortable with the uncomfortable can lead you to become mentally stronger, leads you to be physically stronger and more confident. This is all about confidence here.
Definitely same for me. Tried back flagging further. I couldn't relax into it. I don't think I need my right foot up, actually. Sweet. Thanks. Oh. Oh no, I had it. That's awesome. to hold so much tension there. That's so fun though. Holy crap.
Even when I fail, I'm ultimately winning. Even if I don't secure the move, at least I tried, right? Now, when or if I succeed, sparks such a huge confidence boost. This is like the reason why I climb, is for me to feel more comfortable and confident in the movement that my body can do, to prove myself wrong, to prove myself that I can do it. This mindset, this acknowledgement of fear was seriously the biggest takeaway that I've had throughout this whole week. It kept coming up, but I kept fighting through. You know, fight and win, fight and win. It's never gonna go away. Like, this is what climbing is. It's about proving yourself wrong and trying again and again and again. To wrap up the video, my 3 biggest takeaways: ramp up your sessions, trusting your feet, and lastly, love fear. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to use code Caed at Underground Climbing, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.